Hi everyone, I'm Mia Close and today I'm gonna make something very simple. I'm gonna show you how I make my spaghetti bolognese. So first of all, you'll need an onion like this one, a yellow one or a red one, or whatever you have at home. So we're just gonna chop this finely. So this is what I'm going to use instead of what you have in a meat-based bolognese. And then you put boiling water over it and let it just soak for maybe 5 minutes or so, and then it's ready to use. So if you want, of course you can get the frozen mince, you know, the veggie mince that you find in the supermarket, but this is so much cheaper and it's so easy to always have at home. And because I'm always on a budget, I prefer this so much. One thing though with this is that it's not flavored at all, so you need to use a little bit more spices than with the veggie mince that you buy in the shop. So I'm just gonna put some hot water over this and just put a lid on like that and let it stay for maybe 5 minutes until I'm ready to use it basically. Okay, so that's all done. So I've just put some oil here in the frying pan and I've put up the heat on the stove to high heat. And now I'm gonna put my garlics in the pan. As you can see, I'm not peeling the garlic before I put it in the pan. Some people do that, but that takes way too much time. I never do that. Because the peel will stay in the garlic press anyway, as you can see. You don't want the garlic to be burnt, so you just want it to like fry for maybe 1 minute or something like that. I'm gonna add the onions. Onions coming in here. Now just put down the heat quite low because the onion is supposed to just sweat. I'm just gonna add a little bit of tomato puree to this. There we go. Now I'm going to put in my mince. There is just a little bit of liquid left, which I'm just going to drain out. So this is my drained soy mince. And as you can see, the soy mince is quite light in its color. So next I am going to add some soy sauce. And the soy sauce is both for coloring the soy mince, but also to add some more flavor. I'm using this dark soy sauce, so I'm just gonna whack in some of that into the pan. Adding a jar of chopped tomatoes. Normally, I would add some vegetable stock as well, so if you got that at home, feel free to add, because the soy mince has not got much flavor to it from the beginning, so it needs some extra flavor. But I have actually run out of vegetable stock, so I'm not gonna add it today, but normally I would do. And if you got vegetable stock cube, just crumble it and just crumble it into the mince and just stir. No need to add it with water or anything. So I'm gonna turn up the heat. Then I'm gonna add some spices. I've got the spice blend with some oregano, some basil, I think maybe some thyme in there as well, and some sun-dried tomato. But I mean, if you got any of these spices at home, just whack them in there. If you only got basil, if you only got oregano, just add that. Gonna get some black pepper in as well. It smells so good already. This black pepper grater is squeaking quite a lot. I'm gonna add some paprika powder as well, because that adds a bit of a smoky flavor. Which I like. When it's boiling like this, just turn the heat down so it's not going to burn. So you can have it like on a low heat as soon as it starts boiling. I'm going to add these wild Swedish forest mushrooms to my bolognese because that's going to bring out like a really nice and intense flavor. But if you don't happen to have dried mushrooms at home, just leave it out. No big deal, it's going to taste great anyway, but this is going to take it to the next level basically. I'm just going to crumble the mushrooms in my hand into as small pieces as I can. So I would use maybe like 2 or 3 handfuls of crumbled mushrooms like this. And what's quite important with the mushrooms is that they should always boil together with the mince for at least 10 minutes. So don't just whack that in last and eat it straight away. Always let it simmer for at least 10 minutes before you eat it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of vinegar because when you're cooking, what you will find is that you need to put some kind of acid to whatever you're doing. So it could be like lemon juice, lime juice, apple vinegar, it could be rice vinegar, whatever, but it's gonna taste a lot better if you have some acid in your food. I had some apple cider vinegar that I just threw in there, but you can also use lemon juice or whatever vinegar you got at home. Red wine vinegar would work really well to this actually. Or even if you got some leftover wine from like the night before or the week before even, that is not so nice to drink anymore, just whack that in your bolognese. Red wine would be perfect for that actually. And then I'm gonna add some salt as well. The soy mince does not taste much by its own, so add more salt than you would to frozen mince or like beef mince or whatever you have used before. If your bolognese is starting to look a bit dry, just add some water put some water in the empty chopped tomato can and just whack it in there. And now this is gonna simmer for about 10 minutes. So I've just moved my bolognese to another stove and I am just boiling up some water here, and I'm gonna add some pasta to cook for 10 minutes or whatever your pasta is saying on the packet. And while the pasta is cooking, the bolognese is simmering in the back. Okay, so I'm gonna add some pasta now to some boiling water. Yeah, the pasta looks ready. Just gonna rinse it and try to not get my whole face steamed up from the hot water. So my bolognese dinner is finished, and as I told you guys, it is so easy to throw this together. Of course, there are a million variations of how to make bolognese, but this is how I make it. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel so I can see you here next time. Until then, bye guys!